You know that feeling, right? You ask someone to do a pretty simple task, and they do it so badly you just think, forget it, I'll never ask them again. Well, you might have just experienced something called weaponized incompetence, and in this explainer, we are going to unpack exactly what that is.
So let's just start with this wild idea that kind of flips everything we know on its head. Seriously, what if failing, what if messing up on purpose was actually a superpower?
It sounds strange, I know, but it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about. So welcome to the kinda shady world of weaponized incompetence, where being useless is absolutely not an accident, it's a strategy. It's a calculated move.
So what are we really talking about here? Well, weaponized incompetence is basically pretending you can't do something or exaggerating how bad you are at it. And why? The goal is simple: to get out of doing it, to avoid that responsibility, and, you guessed it, shift that entire burden onto someone else.
And that word, pretending, is everything. It's what turns this from a simple mistake into a calculated failure, which is exactly what we're digging into in our first section. Let's be super clear on this. This is not about someone who genuinely doesn't know how to do something. Nope. This is about someone who knows exactly what they're doing, and what they're doing is getting out of work. Their incompetence isn't real. It's the weapon.
So how does this whole strategy work inside their head? I mean, what's the thought process? To get that, we need to take a look at their secret cheat sheet.
In psychology, there's a term for this, an internal working model. But honestly, just think of it like a secret rule book they carry around in their head, a playbook that tells them how to get exactly what they want with the least amount of effort possible.
And what's the #1 golden rule in this secret playbook? Oh, it's simple, and it's brutally effective. If I act like I can't handle it, someone else will step in. They are literally counting on someone else, usually someone they know is super capable, to ride in and save the day.
You can actually break their whole strategy down into 3 simple steps. First, profess confusion. You know, the whole, oh, I just don't get it, this is so complicated thing. Step 2 is easy, await rescue. They just sit back and wait for you to get so frustrated you just take over. And then, the final move, step 3, cement the precedent. Because you rescued them, you've now taught them that this task, yeah, that's your job now.
Okay, so we've seen their playbook, but what about the person on the other side of this? Let's totally flip the script and look at the invisible struggle.
And this right here, this is the result. A massive, totally unfair effort gap. The person using weaponized incompetence might be carrying like 10% of the load. Meanwhile, you're stuck shouldering the other 90%. It's a huge imbalance.
And the consequence of carrying all that extra weight? It's just pure soul-crushing exhaustion. You're left constantly running on fumes, carrying this heavy burden that was never, ever meant to be yours alone. It's draining, it's infuriating, and honestly, it's a fast track to complete burnout. But this raises a really big question, right? If it's so awful and draining, why does it keep happening? Well, the answer lies in something called the competence trap.
Seriously, why do we let it happen? Why do so many smart, capable people find themselves stuck in this loop, constantly doing the work for others who are perfectly able to do it themselves?
It all comes down to 2 totally conflicting rule books. See, on one side, you have the manipulators rule. If I can't do this, someone else has to. But on the other side, the competent person's internal rule is often, if I don't do this, then I'm a failure. And those 2 beliefs, they lock together perfectly to create this powerful, vicious cycle. This is what psychologists call an identity threat. Think about it. If your whole sense of self, your identity, is wrapped up in being the competent one or the reliable one, then letting a task fail feels like you're failing. It feels like a direct threat to who you are, and that feeling is exactly what keeps you trapped.
So, is there a way out of this trap? Absolutely. And that brings us to our final and honestly most important section, choosing peace over performance. Breaking free from this cycle starts by drilling this idea into your head. Your competence is not a blank check for someone else's laziness. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you always have to. Your ability is your strength, not something to be exploited.
In this next part, this is a game changer. Every single time you swoop in to rescue someone from a task they could do themselves, you are training them. You're literally teaching them that your exhaustion is a resource they can use whenever they want. And that training, it has to stop.
And finally, for anyone who's ever felt stuck in this trap, please hear this. Rest is not a reward. It's not something you earn by doing everything for everyone else. It is a basic, fundamental need.
It is safe, and you are allowed to have it. Ultimately, it really does just come down to a choice. You can keep performing, keep proving how competent you are for everyone else, or you can start prioritizing your own well-being. It means you might have to let some things go, let others handle their own stuff, and finally, choose peace over performance.